Hello, friends. Welcome to Read Along Tarot. This was a subscriber request, and so I thought, why the heck not? Let's give it a try. That is really the big plan. I have no idea how this is going to go. So thanks, everyone, for being here, and let's have some fun. You guys got your cards with you? Hi, Lottie. It's good to see you again, my friend. Hello, Fleck. Hi, Deborah. I don't know what's going on with your times there, Deborah. It was always scheduled for 2 p.m. Eastern, so I'm glad you're here. So, how are you guys doing? Day after the big 4th of July celebration. Some interesting stuff has come out in the news. Hi, Gerald. So, as I said, this was a subscriber request to do a read-along tarot. So for people that are, learning tarot or learning to work with oracle cards or pendulums or any other kind of divination tool, for people that are brushing up, for people that just like to practice, for people that are considering getting into it, or whether you are a well-seasoned professional, which I am not. I just want to, toss some cards with y'all, and if I can help inspire anybody along the way, then that's fantastic. This is going to be really interactive, so it's not going to work unless you all participate. So, with that being said, let me start by saying, hi, Hershey. Does anyone have any questions before we sort of like dive into this? And I love that Fleck has her cards and a notebook, because having a journal to write down your readings when you're first starting out, oracle or tarot, really helps you to develop your pattern, your style of reading, as well as being able to establish how you tell the story when you start putting cards together. Every time you do it, based on the question that you're being asked, the interpretation or the intuition may guide you in a different direction. So it's lovely to sort of see that pattern sort of come out, right? I have a journal right here that I got at the advice of someone, right? And in this journal, just as an example for anyone who's learning, it has, your date, your time, the deck that you used, what the question was, which is great. Also, a place to put down each of the cards, right? This uses like a 3-card spread. Of course, if you were doing more than 3 cards, you could use both pages. And then, your notes, which is your interpretation. So that's handy. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Sue. I have no idea what number of polls we're doing, or like how many cards. I sort of go with it. You know what I mean? Wow, Lottie, that's awesome. Good for you. So I just want to start off by saying this. And I'm sure that lots of people will disagree with me. So this is just my opinion. And we should put this up, friends. We should put this up for entertainment purposes only. Everybody has a different style of learning. Everybody has a different style of retaining information. And there are so many different ways that you can learn tarot. I myself, when I was trying to learn tarot, I did like 8 different things because, it wasn't quite clicking, right? So don't get discouraged. Don't get down on yourself. Keep trying. So what I'm trying to say is this. Perhaps for some people, they want to take a class. Other people may want to watch a video. Other people may want to just grab a deck and use the guidebook that comes along with most of the tarot decks, and sort of allow themselves to work into it that way. Other people are completely different, and they will pick up a deck and they might have a practice partner, and they will sort of learn that way. Or maybe a combination of different parts of those things, right? So don't be discouraged. There are 78 cards. It's a lot to remember. But the thing that I want to say that I think is most important is you have to have a basic knowledge of the cards in terms of what they mean, their descriptions, their energies, that kind of thing. And then you go from there, right? My hardest part when I was learning tarot was to string the story together. And to be perfectly honest, even before stringing the story together, I had another part that was confusing to me. So I understood that there was the major arcana, which is 0, which is the Fool card, to number 21, which is the World card. And I understood that there was 4 suits, right? The Cups, the Pentacles, the Wands, and the Sword. And what I didn't understand was how I joined those two things together. I didn't understand what the major arcana was in reference to comparing it to, so like if I got the Fool card and I got the 2 of Cups, I didn't know, like, why am I getting that? Do you understand what I mean? So once I learned the journey of the major arcana, everything sort of like went boom, 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 and clicked into place for me. There is a journey of the major arcana, right? And if you take your deck of cards, I have like 4 decks here, so I'm just going to grab one. Hi, Akila. Hi, Sonia. If you take your tarot deck and you pull out all the major arcana from the Fool card all the way to the World card, look at them in order, in numerical sequence, and really try to navigate that journey, that story that it's telling. I found that super helpful. Once I understood that, then things started to make sense to me. But like I said, everyone has their own way. Everyone has their own ideas as to how things come together for them. Some people are intuitive readers. Some people are totally by the book readers. Some are a combination of both. I don't really think that there's a wrong way, as long as you are invested in it and you have a basic knowledge of, what the definitions of each card mean. Of course, that's just my personal opinion. So I would be interested to know what do you guys prefer? Do you prefer tarot cards? Do you feel more drawn to those? Do you feel more drawn to Oracle, or do you do both? I would just love to know that. Let me know in the chat. I think it's awesome that you got carried away with writing, Lottie, because I mean, I don't think that you can get carried away. Do you know what I mean? Right? And sometimes, like to that point, Gerald, sometimes it takes you a hot minute when you're learning to figure out, this doesn't work for me. So let's say, for example, you signed up for a tarot class, right? You bought a tarot deck because you've been watching, different readers within the community, and you thought, I want to give it a try. I want to read for myself, and I want to learn this, so I just understand what they're talking about. And you take a couple of classes, and you sort of take on that style of learning, and then you figure out after 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months, like, I'm not getting this. I'm still confused. And then maybe someone points you in a different direction, and that style makes more sense to you, right? The point I'm trying to make is don't get discouraged, because it is an awful lot to learn. Akila says, I'm more drawn to Oracle, but getting comfortable understanding tarot. And listen, there are some people out there that think that oracle cards are not worth their weight, and I totally disagree with that. I love my oracle cards. I started with oracle cards. I think that, I don't know that I could do a reading and feel good about it without putting an oracle card on it. Oracle cards speak to me. So I totally get that, Akila. I totally get that. I do suggest for anyone who's learning that whether you start with the Rider-Waite Tarot or whether you evolve to the Rider-Waite Tarot, at one point in your tarot reading learning curve, you will want to understand the Rider-Waite Tarot, because it is sort of like the deck of choice that every other tarot deck or most other tarot decks are sort of made from, right? Usually that is the reference point. So you might want to dabble in it. Now, I'll be honest. Where the heck is that deck? Friends, if I told you how much stuff that I have these little like 3 drawers, and let me see. That's not it. Oh, hold on a second. Okay. Okay. So I was told to get the Rider-Waite deck, right? And I got this one because I live in Canada and it was the cheapest one I could find, the Smith-Waite Centennial Tarot deck. And I didn't understand it at all. It did not speak to me. I didn't resonate with it. It didn't make any sense at all. At all. I couldn't tell. I mean, I could tell the pictures apart. Obviously, they look different, but I couldn't tell one thing from the other. It did not speak to me. Then somebody suggested that I get the Lightseer Tarot. I got the Lightseer Tarot, and boom, off I went to the races. So I don't think it matters what deck you choose to start with. You should want to choose the deck that you're drawn to, or that speaks to you, whether it be the colors or the images or whatever the case may be, or one that you've seen another reader use that you just like when you look at it on the screen. But the Rider-Waite is referenced in a lot of other decks that you will use, and so over the course of time, you could find it confusing if you don't know a little bit of the basics of the Rider-Waite. So I hope that point is clear. Hello, Pia. How are you? All right, let's see what we got. Oh, hi, Liz. How are you doing, love? Hi, Rose. Okay, so oh, no fireworks last night, Rose. Awesome. Excellent. Okay, so Hershey says I'm definitely kind of sort of structured, but I'm good at bending stuff that can be looked at different than the book. Excellent. And see, not everybody can do that, right? Deborah says she reads more intuitively and I'm more comfortable reading that way. Absolutely. Deborah says she loves how Gerald reads. Hi, Pierrette. So, yeah, that's a good question. So Deborah's asking Gerald, why not the Rider-Waite? Do you just feel like it limited you in some way? And I want to say that, like, to that point, it's a very, decks are very individual. I don't have any decks that are like, I suppose people could say like dark. I like colorful. I like positive. I like, bright, sort of happy type images. All of my oracle cards are the same way, so are my decks. So hi, Linda. I'm glad you're here, my friend. So, oh, that's an interesting question, Rose. What oracle for a beginner for daily poll guidance? Okay, so just to clarify, I think, it's just my personal opinion, I think that you can get, daily guidance from almost any oracle deck out there. It is how you choose to interpret the information, right? But there are some that are so great at just really encompassing like a general vibe, right? A couple of them that I think would fall into that category are, hold on a second, The Sacred Forest Oracle by Denise Linn. Okay. You can tell that these are well used, friends, right? I mean, they're all like yucky on the edges, but beautiful images. It's all about, the elementals, the forest, and like there's so much to look at in the picture. There's so much to pull from this. You don't have to. I like oracle cards with words or a little message on them. There's always a guidebook, 9 times out of 10, that you can go to dig further into the information if you need to. But this is one that I would recommend that's got a sort of nice sort of vibe for general readings. Okay. The next deck that I would recommend for like a general kind of vibe is the Moonology Manifestation deck. Again, it's got great card stock. They feel good in the hand. They've got a lovely texture. They're pretty resilient to shuffling and stuff. They've got excellent images on them, and I think that they're sort of a great one for just regular, what's going on. Another oracle deck, which I didn't get that long ago, and I love this deck because you can do so many things with it, is the Prism Oracle. The guidebook has awesome spreads in it. For those of you that follow my daily readings, you know that I use the spreads out of that book quite often. The back is super colorful. The cards themselves are, just a variety. It's like, a kaleidoscope of colors, each with a word on them, like, rejection, balance, isolation. Great deck. You can do, pull a card each day and you get a word. So whether that word becomes your mantra for the day, whether that word becomes your where you go, sort of like where you start to work on setting your intentions, whether that is something that you aspire to be or aspire to use or whatever, you know what I mean? There's so many different things. Maybe that's the word that you're going to omit from your vocabulary that day. Like if it looked like a negative word, right? So many things that you could do with this deck. I don't know if I can get this one out, but please hold. No. Whoops. I knew that was going to happen. Another favorite deck of mine, I love Denise Linn, just as an FYI. Sacred Destiny Oracle by Denise Linn. Stunning images. Simple, one word. That is the back of the deck. And they're just, the pictures are so breathtaking, right? They look like real photographs. Whoops, that one's upside down. Awesome, right? Beautiful deck. Guidebook is, in most of her decks are extraordinary. They're so jam-packed with information. Okay, let's see. Okay. You need some words. Yep, got to start somewhere. Oh, you wish you started with the Marseille to support the numerology focus? Well, it's interesting that you say that, Gerald, because that was the next thing I was going to mention. When I learned Tarot, I also learned numerology. That was part of my lesson. Learning numerology really, 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 I can't stress really enough, really helped me in my overall understanding. And I can't really explain why, like in specifics, but it really helped. Um, there are some people that have created like their own personal cheat sheets or uh, ways to help them remember, right? You know, where you take a word and you pick out a couple of letters and you make like a little short form word for yourself, you know, just to help you remember something. So in other words, all aces mean this, all twos mean that, all three means this, all four means that, so on and so forth, right? So numerology really, really helped me grasp it. So for spiritual growth for myself, Digging Deep, Earthcraft Oracle by Juliet. I've seen that deck. I don't have the Earthcraft, but I've seen it. It's been on my wish list. Like I put it on, I take it off, I put it on, I take it off. It's one of those kind of deals. Deborah says she has Denise Lynn. Also, another great deck that Denise Lynn has that I really, this deck really speaks to me, and I don't use it often enough. Is the Native Spirit Oracle. It's just this, the images are stunning. The messages in the guidebook are extraordinary. And if you have time to like pull a card and read the message from the book, that is an excellent, I mean, it inspires you. It gives you almost like a little exercise to do for each card. Another deck that I have that is similar in that respect is this deck here. That's the Secret Language of Color cards. Each of these cards has, you know, the color, obviously, beautiful images on them, and then a little message. So this one is revitalize your nervous system. Now, if you go into the guidebook and where is it, the guidebook? Seriously? Okay, 31. There we go. So in the guidebook, right, for this particular deck of cards, it gives you an overall of what green, the color on the card, means, what it can do, what its healing properties are, etc. Then it goes down and it gives you sort of like a little exercise that you could do, right? So for this one, specifically for this green card, it says revitalize. Focus on flooding your nervous system with green rays of light. Direct the light throughout your whole spine before moving it into your heart. Then rotate this green light around your heart until you feel your heart expand, relax, and fill up with vitality. Say, divine intelligence, please release all the pressure and stress from my heart and nervous system and fill me up with your healing, revitalizing green light. So there are a lot of oracle books that have these kinds of messages, which are sort of like a step away and above from just, you know, what the card meaning is. And I love that. Super helpful if you are, you know, dealing with low energy, if you're dealing with thinking that your chakras are out of alignment or trying to get yourself into alignment. If you are, you know, suffering from mental health issues, if you are dealing with, negative self-talk, overall body image issues, those kinds of things, those kinds of decks with that little extra bit of information is super, super, super helpful, I find. All right, I'm losing myself over here, so let me go back into the chat. Hershey says I'm drawn to the Thoth and numbers so I can relate, Gerald. I have Denise Lynn also. Gerald says I like oracle cards with titles and words. Rose says I can't go basic math and jump to calculus step by step. Rose, that's the whole point, right? Like you learn the best way that you know how. What speaks to you, because we all learn differently, right? Hershey says, oh, she's having a conversation with Gerald. Okay. Hi, Twisted Sushi. Which deck was it that you were asking about? The color one, Rose? The Secret Language of Color by Anya Seagull. Hi, Kiba. I'm doing good, thank you, Twisted Sushi. Hope you're doing well too. Hi, Lady Silver. You're never late, my friend. You're always on time. So, I think oracle cards are great, right? And I use oracle cards, as you all know, a lot. But there's some things that I just feel that tarot cards can give me that the oracle cards can't. And then there's some things that oracle cards can give you that tarot cards can't. I also really like Bye, Gerald. Have a good afternoon. I also really like my Kipper deck. And Kipper is, like, you've heard of Lenormand, so this is like a derivative. It's not the same as Lenormand, but it's kind of like a Lenormand, more like a Lenormand deck than it is a tarot deck. There is 36, 39 cards in this deck. And I don't know why, it just really speaks to me. So there's that. So here's what I want to do. For those of you that have cards out, I want to ask you to pull whatever you choose, your tarot card, oracle card, whatever speaks to you. And I want you to, like for me, and I want you to tell me what it is. So the question is, how is Kelly doing today? How is Kelly doing today? And I want you guys to toss a card and then put it in the chat. Do you want me to insert some elevator music? Sue says, I have a deck, Angel Reading Cards by Debbie Malone, on my desk. A lot worn, but whenever I draw the parking angel card, I pay attention now. Laugh out loud. Card needs repair. Be careful of parking fine. Yeah. I mean, listen, if it helps to pull a card every day, whether it is in the beginning of the day so that you have some guidance, or you pull it at the end of the day for confirmation of, what happened to you earlier. There's no right or there's no wrong, in my opinion. You do what speaks to you, right? Nobody should be telling you how or when or why you're pulling a card. You do it because it speaks to you. You guys let me know if you need elevator music, because I got it. Let me know what you get. Okay, so Flex says that she pulled the Hierophant. So what's interesting about the Hierophant? What can you guys tell us about the Hierophant? What is the Hierophant all about? What are we doing right here? The Hierophant speaks to us about what? Bye, Hershey. Have a good day. Yep. Education, teaching, leveling up, increasing your spiritual connection, gaining knowledge. Can also be about the government. So that's really good, you guys. That's awesome, because that's what we're doing here. So that's awesome. Linda says, I got 3. So the Queen of Wands, which I am a fire sign, so that represents me. Ace of Cups, coming from a place of love. The 8 of Wands, information coming in quickly. Messages being received. That was pretty damn accurate, Linda, by the way. And I mean, here's the thing. When you start tossing tarot cards, I think the scariest thing for me, and I don't know, I mean, you all tell me if this makes sense to you or not, but the scariest thing for me was really just knowing whether I was right or not. And once I understood that it wasn't really about being right, now hear me out before anybody comes at me with this. It wasn't about being right. In the beginning, it wasn't about being right. It was about building my confidence and my knowledge of the cards. What did they mean, right? Not getting the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups confused in terms of their meanings. So that's what I tried to focus on, right? So I would watch the news. I would watch, Entertainment Tonight or whatever, and I would pull cards on whatever they were talking about. So I knew what the outcome was. I knew what the story was, but I would ask a question of the cards just to see if I was getting the right information. Do you understand? Because you could take the same cards that Linda got. I'm going to stick them on the screen here. You could take these 3 cards, okay? And if we had have said, so not how is Kelly doing today? If we had have said, what does Kelly need to work on today? That may take on a different meaning, right? Not that it means something entirely different, but the way that you would say it back to me would be different, possibly, right? So sometimes it's about the question, right? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Akila, you got the 3 of Wands. I love that. Deborah got the Knight of Cups, the Hierophant, the World. That's beautiful, Deborah. Good job. So the 3 of Wands is about goals and expansion, the vision. And so I think that the 3 of Wands really applies, Akila, because as I said, this was a subscriber request, and I'm not here to teach you guys tarot, because I don't know that I'm a good teacher, so I don't know that that's something that I would even want to do. But I can definitely, give my opinion as to how I did it, and if that resonates or you're interested, then that's great. But what I'm trying to do in this stream is I'm trying to give someone else inspiration. And so I'm trying to allow someone else to see their goals and their vision, right? Whatever those might be. So that was really good. That was a really good pick on your part. Good job. So Deborah, when she got this, right, got the Knight of Cups, the Hierophant, the World. Now, here's something else that I'm going to say. This is me, okay? I want you guys to know that as a reader, if I'm sharing the screen with someone, okay, and we both get same cards, it happens that you might get one or two, but not all the same cards, but you know what I'm saying, right? You follow me on the scenario. If you get all the same cards or similar cards, your interpretation based on the question or your intuition or a combination of a bunch of things, it is going to be it could be different. And that's totally okay. This goes back to what we were talking about yesterday. You really got to trust yourself, right? Imagine I'm, to be continued. When you are reading, so you're sitting here and you're reading, like in this format on this platform, right? For people in the chat, and people are talking back and forth and having conversations, and you're trying to give a reading. This is all energy, right? And sometimes it can be really distracting. Other times you might not get as distracted, right? You could be more focused. You could be more, in the zone or whatever. You guys get my point. When you own your reading, you own your reading. No one can take that away from you, and no one should try to take that away from you. If Deborah says that this is what her message is, unless it's about me, I don't think, in my personal opinion, that I have the right to tell Deborah that she is incorrect, that she is wrong. I just say thank you. Do you know what I mean? For example, I do daily videos. Deborah comes in, and Deborah can clearly read. Deborah comes in and says, thank you, great reading. If Deborah came in and it wasn't a great reading, or the way that I interpreted the reading didn't not resonate or make sense to her, don't leave no comment on my page saying, I'm not saying that Deborah would do it. I'm just using this as an example. Don't come in there and say to me, like, you got the 7 of Wands mixed up. It doesn't mean that. Don't do that. Not that I'm not open to constructive criticism. Not that I'm not open to opinions, but it's my reading, right? I read it the way that I read it, and I own it. And that goes back to that trust thing that I was talking about. And the reason why I say that is because if you allow people to get into your head, it's really going to mess with your confidence, right? Now, if I invite you to throw some cards, let's see, what do you got? That's totally different. But I don't usually want people coming in my chat throwing cards. You don't have the permission of the person. Like, if you're throwing them and you're not telling anybody, that's totally up to you, right? Like, I don't know, you don't know, or they don't know. But if someone is in the chat and has asked the reader on the screen, I don't care what room you're in, to answer a question, and you decide at home that you're going to throw some cards, don't go into someone else's chat unless they have told you to do so, because you don't have permission for the person, and you don't know the circumstances. Do you know what I mean? And the other thing is, in addition to that, and sort of aside from that, you are sort of taking away from what's happening on the screen, like the energy that's happening. You know what I mean? And the reader is looking at the screen, waiting for feedback, waiting for the person to say, like, yes, no, maybe so, whatever. And you're sort of having a conversation and sidetracking the whole process. And again, I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm only talking about myself. I find that really distracting. Hi, Cheyenne. Hi, Teresa. How are you, love? Okay. Deborah says, I feel all feelings. I can't speak. I feel all readings are valid and important. Sometimes they don't resonate with us in that moment, but later they usually will. Yeah. I like to be open to everybody's sort of interpretation, right? I would like to be open to everybody's take on it because we all read differently and we all have different intuition. And I don't know what you were feeling in that moment, and so I like to just like take in the information, and if it resonates, I try to bring it with me, and if it doesn't, I try to leave it at the door, and like that's really the end of it, right? Hi Jen, hi Beck. So, what else can we try? Okay, so I'm going to I want to say something before I get too crazy here and forget what I'm saying. So Rose said something earlier about politics or political tarot. I feel like that is a really sensitive topic. You know, some people want to watch the politics, some people want to hear about the politics, people are like, oh my God. Some people say it's not good energy. Some people don't have the problem with the energy. Like people feel whatever they feel, right? We shouldn't discount how people feel. My jam is this. It's like rock and roll. If I don't like rock and roll, I'm not going to listen to it. If I like it, I'm going to listen to it. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. Is kind of what I'm saying. I have read politics. It is not what I read. It's not really my jam, but I will. And I will make a full disclosure in the beginning that I'm not hot at it. I don't like to read on the energy of a situation, but I don't mind reading on. Okay, sorry, I said that wrong. I will read on the energy of a situation, like, you know, like was Kevin McCarthy going to get the votes to become Speaker of the House? That's something that I feel I can read on. If you ask me how is Kevin McCarthy feeling in that moment, I can read on that, but I don't really want to because that energy is kind of to me. Personal opinion, don't come at me. You know what I mean? So I don't have a problem with it. I just try not to like do the people. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so Flex says, tell me what story the major arcana. Okay, so all right, Linda. Thanks, love. Have a good day, my friend. Blessings to you. That's a really difficult story to tell in a short sort of program like this. But what I want to say to you is, right, get out your tarot deck, get out your book that comes with it, right? Go through it real quick. Like put them out in front of you. Number 0, the Fool card. It's the beginning. It's the new adventure, right? The innocence, the naivety of it all. What's card number 2? What is card number 2 in the major arcana? Anybody? I'll wait. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Cheyenne, yeah, I don't do I try not to do like, do I have cancer kind of question. No. But if it was, I'm going to have an operation, is it going to be successful? I will say to the person that if it's a private reading, that's totally different. That's between me and that person. But here on this platform, it would be something like I would say, why don't I can read on, what is the feeling around it, right? That kind of thing. Beautiful, Jen. Good job. I love it. Yes, the Magician. Okay. So the Fool card is the beginning, right? The new adventure, the new journey. The Magician is what? What does the Magician mean? The Magician says to us that we're going to use all of our, or sorry, the High Priestess. Thank you. No, is it? Yes, it is. See, now I don't remember. How bad is that? Magician is number 4. I should have probably got these out. Temperance. Hold on. I have to find them now. 4, 11. No, Magician is the Emperor is 4, the Empress is 5. How bad is that? Because now I don't now that I'm saying it, I look like a doofus because I can't remember. Woo! The Lover's card is number 6. I should have been more prepared. Sorry, friends. I apologize. The Fool card. The Hermit card is number 9. The Judgment card is number 20. I know the cards. The Hierophant is number 5. The World card is number 21. The Wheel of Fortune is number 10. Justice is number 11. High Priestess is number 2. Thank you. I can't remember who said that, but thank you for clarifying that for me. All right. The Empress is number 3. The Chariot is number 7. The Hangman is number 12. The Magician is number 1. All right. So I'm going to get them all now because you've asked me and now I've got them all out. Bear with me, friends. Bear with me. Let me make sure I've got them all. The Devil. What is that saying about the devil? The devil's in the details, right? Okay. So we're going to try and do this real quick. Okay, so you've got, it's okay, love. Not a problem. Not a problem. Thank you, Cheyenne. Jeepers, right? Okay, so I'm going to hide this. So you've got your Fool card, right? This is the beginning. This is your new adventure, right? But when you start this new adventure, you're a little bit naive. You're innocent about the journey, meaning that you don't know everything that you need to know. And when you step out, you kind of step out with like, wow, like, bright eyes, big, like think that kind of energy, right? Then we move on to the Magician. What is the Magician? The Magician is using all the resources that you have at your disposal. The Magician is using all the tools in the tarot, meaning the suits, the swords, the wands, the cups, and the pentacles, right? The Magician is also about manifesting, right? So you're manifesting your dreams. So you started out on the new journey and you're using the resources that you have to make your dreams come true, right? Okay, so then what is the next card? The next card is the Empress. Well, what is the Empress about? The Empress is about nurturing things. She's about taking action. So you're nurturing yourself, trying to protect yourself and love yourself up because you are innocent in your big adventure, right? And you're ready to take action because you are on this new journey, right? You are filled with possibilities and opportunities because you have the whole rest of the major arcana yet to go through. What is the next card? The next card is the Emperor, right? And the Emperor is about what? Emperor is about taking control. It's about leadership. It's about structure and organization, right? So as you grow, as you are in your journey, what are you doing? You're gaining information, right? You're starting to build yourself a solid foundation to stand on. You're taking control of your life. That's what you're doing, right? What is the next card? The next card is the Hierophant. Well, what is the Hierophant about? The Hierophant is about building your spiritual connection. It is about learning. It's about gaining knowledge. We are gaining knowledge as we navigate, right? Because each step is another piece of information. What is card number 6? Card number 6 is the Lover's card. What is the Lover's card about? The Lover's card is about choices. It's about two becoming one, blending energies. It's about like there's lots of things that it's about, but it's about blending energies. It's about two becoming one. It's about choices and decisions. It's about your emotions and relationships, right? And so as you keep going, as you keep increasing, each card is think of like having bookmarks, or bookends, right? And card number or book number 1 is the Fool card. Then you push in book number 2, which is really number 1, which is the Magician, right? Then you slide in the next book, and you sort of build them like that. And if you build it that way, it literally makes a story. So literally take your cards out and boom, 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 and you can make sense of it, right? Yeah, see, and that's what I was saying before, Cheyenne. Like that's what. So if you base your learning on the Rider-Waite system, which is the Rider-Waite system, or the system that most decks are built on, not all, but most. And when people teach classes, it's usually based on the Rider-Waite system. If you were to learn another system that uses it, like coins instead of pentacles, for example, you might not know what the hell they were talking about, right? If you get this deck that Cheyenne was talking about, the Strength card is number 8 and Justice is number 11 in the Rider-Waite Tarot. But in that deck, it's different, and you might get totally confused, or you might have someone else tell you that you were wrong, right? So, you understand what I'm getting at, right? So yeah, so if you, yes, making relationships, it's about making choices, though, I think, personally. And then because what's the next card? The next card is number 7, which is the Chariot. And what is the Chariot about? The Chariot is about speed. It's about things picking up, right? It's about travel. It's about success. It's about your willpower. So you're starting to become more independent, right? Because you blended those energies together. You're starting to become more independent. You're starting to stand on your own 2 feet. You're starting to figure it out. And now things are picking up speed. That's number 7. That's my interpretation of number 7. Just saying. Okay, so we did that, right? So you guys, that's just a little tidbit for yes, forward movement, Rose. Absolutely, my friend. So that's just a little tidbit from me to you guys about a way that you can look at the major arcana and put them all in front of you and literally go like that, and then okay, and then you sort of string it together and you're like, oh, okay, and somehow that made sense to me. It doesn't work for everybody, but now you can get when I say carried away, I don't mean to imply that you don't need to do this, that it is not helpful in any way, because of course it is, but it's just the words that are going to come out of my mouth. You can get, are they mutable card? Are they a fixed element? What zodiac sign is associated with each card? What seasons do they speak to? Because, you can tell an awful lot about a tarot card based on a lot of things that most people, when they look at them, just go, oh, okay, right? No, 100%, Cheyenne, 100%. 100%. Like, for example, when you use the Rider-Waite Tarot and you look at the cards where there are pillars in the cards, like the High Priestess, for example, what do those pillars mean? What do those pillars stand for? Does anybody know what the pillars in the Rider-Waite system stand for, or what they sort of imply? Yeah, it's the journey of the tarot, and then the cups and the suits, right? The cups, the pentacles are sort of like the details of the journey, if that makes sense. The pillars of the Temple of Solomon, yep, or Solomon, sorry. So they have biblical references, but those pillars are like portals. They're like wisdom, right? So if you go between the pillars, you're gaining wisdom. You're moving towards a not a clearer path, but you're heading towards the light. Let's put it that way. Like even the color of their clothing in the Rider-Waite system means something, right? Like red means taking action. So if you see somebody in the Rider-Waite that is wearing a red cloak or clothing, it means taking action, right? There's lots to look at, and that would be the second thing that I think is really, really important. When you are learning tarot, take time to look at the picture, right? To really look at the picture. And see all the things that you can see in that card, because that card tells you an awful lot, right? Take time with it. Really, 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 I don't mean study it, but really, really look at it and let your imagination open and see all of the things that you can pick out in the cards, because it will tell you an awful lot in terms of what they mean. And also in terms of how you string it together with the card next to it, right? Cheyenne, sorry, not Cheyenne, wrong person. Rose Blue says, "What's Knight of Wands?" Now, when you say what is Knight of Wands, what do you mean by that? Hi, Bims. Do you mean like what does it mean, or do you mean like what suit is it? I just give me a little bit more. Yeah, absolutely, Cheyenne. So for people that grew up in a that have knowledge of religion, you may pick out things in a card that I would not. Like if you were looking at the Rider-Waite, right? Like I might be like, I missed it completely. Yes, there is a Knight of Wands. So in each of the suits, there are 1 through 10. And then you have the court cards for each of the suits, which are the page, the queen, the page, the knight, the queen, and the king. I always think of them as the royal family. And so you have the king, which is the king. You have the queen, which is his, the person that's, his right hand person, so to speak. You have the No, not at all, Cheyenne. You have I love your input and your insight. That, like I said in the beginning, this doesn't work unless we're all talking to each other, right? The where was I? So the queen is like the person that stands next to him, and then sort of like his right hand man, like his wingman, if you will. Like that's how I look at it. And then the next person is the knight. The knight is the guy who takes the action, right? He's the guy who goes out and does the dirty work, right? And then the page, in my opinion, is like the court jester, meaning he's the guy who's running around. He's the guy who's doing all the dirty work, right? The knight is the one who takes the action and enforces it for the king, Does that make sense, what I said? So for each of the suits, right? Cups, wands, swords, and pentacles, they have 1 through 10, and then they have court cards. All of the suits have pages, all of them have knights, all of them have queens, all of them have kings. Or, like I said, you'll have other decks where they're princes and princesses, and, you know, they may be called different daughters, sons. You may have different decks using different names, but you get the gist, right? Remember when I said yesterday that I was using, this deck here, the Herb Crafter Tarot, because it has a Spanish influence. Like, for example, the Haya of water. Well, I'd have to get the darn book out because, you know, I don't know Spanish, but I love this deck. So I put, you know, a little P on it so I would know that this is a page, for example. You pull the Jack of Spades from my deck. Oh, for the question for me. I don't have any Cartomancy Mesquite. I mean, that's what Cartomancy is playing cards. And I don't know anything about playing cards in terms of referencing tarot. To be perfectly honest, I don't. Okay, so now using your cards, right? Using your cards, I want you to pull. We're all going to do this. I'm going to use a different deck because I've messed that one up completely. Let's do this. Let's ask. Oh, here's something else that I want to say. Okay. I don't care how you shuffle your cards. Everybody shuffles their cards different. When you get a new deck, everyone deals with them different. Some people will get them out of the box and use them right away. Other people like sleep on them and, you know, talk to them and put them on their altar and stick crystals on them. You do you, right? However, which way feels comfortable to you. I mean, I don't really think that anybody needs to be told what to do with their cards. I find it, for me, my cards are really personal to me, right? Like, I don't want anyone else touching them. I want to look after them because they're mine, you know? Hi, Pia. Oh, you're just working? Okay, absolutely. Listen, don't be all of a sudden saying, hold on, I got to break out my cards, Pia. So I got a funny story about that. One time at work, we were playing bingo, but via email, because we weren't supposed to obviously be doing that on a Friday afternoon, and somebody yelled out bingo, and we all got in trouble. So, true story. Okay, so what is our question? Okay, so our question is 3 cards from tarot or 3 oracle cards, whatever speaks to you more. Okay, and the question that we're going to ask is, what can I, meaning you guys, so you ask, what can I do today to shine my light? What can I do to shine my light today? Go. Either 3 tarot cards or 3 oracle cards. What can I do to shine my light today, Spirit? Advice and guidance as to how I can shine my light today. Whoa. I literally got 3 cards that shot out there. Wow. You guys let me know what you got. Okay. So, okay. So you can go live from your phone. Lots of people do it. I only go live from my phone if I'm out of the house, because I find it very confusing. In terms of, like, it's like the screen is this big, and so like I could literally see one comment at a time, and I'm old, so I like my computer. But yeah, you can go live from your phone as long as you are set up on YouTube to do so. Right now, when I go live on my phone, I don't go live through YouTube. I go live through StreamYard. Um, but for anyone who, like, for your channel, for anything that you're trying to learn how to do, there's so many videos on YouTube that can help you sort of navigate that process. Just look it up, and I'm sure you'll be able to find one that guides you right through it. I mean, that's how I learned, because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So Flex says 5 of Wands, King of Swords, and the Strength card. So 5 of Wands is some sort of conflict or competition, right? King of Swords is, sitting in a position where you are getting like a bird's eye view, and really being very logical and analytical about, strategic about your thought process, what your plans are, how you're going to execute the plans, how you're going to implement the plan, right? And the Strength card is your inner courage. So I think what that message, I mean, in my opinion, your message is saying to you that how you can shine your light is by trying to find a different view or a different perspective of whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever situation may be presenting itself to you. And what do you guys think about the 5 of Wands and the King of Swords and the Strength? Let me know what you think. Well, I don't know that I'm the best, but thank you, my friend. Yeah. I mean, you have a channel, so if you've already got videos on it, because I know that there's a thing when you first are starting your channel, and you need to, there's some button, I cannot remember what it is, but there's a button that you need to press in YouTube, and then I think it's like 24 or maybe 48 hours that you have to wait before YouTube allows you or gives you permission to go live. So as long as you have a channel and it's already got videos on it, you should be able to go live on YouTube absolutely no problem, from your phone. But I've done a live from YouTube, but I've never done a live from my phone on YouTube. I've only ever done a live on my phone through StreamYard. And I have to say, like, I'm a total fan of StreamYard. Like, once I started using StreamYard, for entertainment purposes only, don't come at me, YouTube. I won't do it the other way, because it's just so easy. So, interested to know what you guys think of the 5 of Wands, King of Swords, and Strength. So Flex says, "Oh, great! So I can talk to my little brother without killing them." I think that what it's asking you to do is to take yourself out of the conflict and try to look at the situation from a different perspective. So maybe try to see a different side of it. Maybe try to see, his side from it, and to be very thoughtful and logical in your response. It's also telling you it's gonna require a little bit of strength, right? So Cheyenne says the strength tells me that you're okay. Let's put this up on the screen. Cheyenne says that the strength tells me that your highest self has your back. Think that the strength card is like the superhero of the major arcana. Yes. Awesome. So basically telling you got this. don't react, right? Don't react. Be proactive, not reactive, is what I want to say to you, right? Okay. So Lottie B. So I hope that this exercise is making sense to people, like what we're doing here. So Lottie B says, I got the 10 of Cups, the Empress, and the Ace of Wands. Excellent cards, Lottie. And I'd love it if you guys, like, what do you guys think that means? You guys say. You guys say what you think that means. The 10 of Cups, the Empress, and the Ace of Wands. I mean, they're beautiful cards, first of all. And I guess really, Fleck, the answer to your question is yes. Beautiful, Rose. We'll get there, my friend. So, 10 of Cups, happy family card, joy, love, blessings, right? Wholeness, beautiful card. Means that you are in a great place with the people that matter to you the most. Could mean that you love your home, that you love your family. Could mean that you just had a family gathering or family, reunion. You just talked to a bunch of people over the 4th of July, and so you're still feeding off of that energy. The Empress is about being nurturing and being seeing the good, seeing the positive, seeing the possibilities and the opportunities. So you're a half full person as opposed to a half empty type of person, right? That's how you look at things. And you're about taking action. Like you see something, you do it, right? Like kind of like you're not really, the energy of the Empress is, I'm not really sitting around going like, well, I got 10 more minutes before my mom gets home and then I'll wash the dishes. You know what I mean? It's not really that kind of vibe. It's the opposite of that. And the Ace of Wands it's fire energy. So it's creative, right? So there's lots of inspiration, creativity happening. And it's like you're totally inspired, right? So either you are planning to get together with family, you're planning maybe like a dinner with your family. Maybe you guys are doing something together where you're going to be creative. Maybe you decorated for the 4th of July. It's, you know what I mean? So how you can shine your light is by, what I take from that is by showing the people that you love how to love, right? You lead by example. You show them how to be kind, how to be loving, how to be caring, how to express their joy, how to have fun, how to tap into their creative juices and sort of get their feels going. And that's what you give to the people. So that's how you shine your light, right? Okay, so Cheyenne said, while great pull, 10 of Cups speaks to emotional fulfillment through the Empress's caring and abundance of heart. The Aces, one big fat yes from Spirit telling you that you're on the right track. Excellent. Deborah says, ending of things not serving you, embracing your gift and putting them to use. Yeah. Beautiful cards. All right, so Rose says, I just used my first tarot deck. Congratulations. It wasn't that hard. I've had it 2 weeks. I got the Knight of Coins, the 7 of Cups, and the Temperance card. So the Knight of Coins is the Knight of Pentacles, the 7 of Cups, and the Temperance. So what do we think about this? What do we think about this one? The Knight of Coins, the 7 of Cups, and the Temperance card. I feel like this is a, when I say struggle, I don't mean like, struggle isn't the right word. Struggle is a little too severe. This is a situation where you are possibly procrastinating about making a decision. You might be feeling like you're being pulled in different directions, and you're starting to sort of get a little over that, right? So moderation and a little bit of balance will help to sort of get you back on track so that you're actually making headway. You're actually making movement forward. That's what I think. Now, I don't know what's going on with you, Rose, but if this is about what I think it's about in terms of your parents, and you don't need to share, but if this is about your parents, this is just let it play out naturally. Don't overthink this, right? Don't overthink it. Yeah, patience is key. Knight of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, a little bit of overwhelm going on, but you have lots of possibilities in front of you. Yeah. Right? So the Seven of Cups is like making choices, right? Sometimes it's about procrastination, where you sort of like overwhelm yourself doing that whole adult chess game thing. The point is that there really is no right, or there is really no wrong. Whatever choice you make, you're going to, deal with it. The key in that, though, like for me, when I'm looking at what you wrote there, the Knight of Coins, right? You got to play them, and you're going after it. You are going after it. You are focused. And then you've got the Temperance card. The Temperance card is about control and moderation, right? It's about balance. So if you've got the Knight of Coins, I know what I want. And that's the important bit. But then the overthinking with the Seven of Cups, and now you're like, oh gosh, I don't even remember what the first choice was. I don't even remember what the thing was that I wanted to do because I got all in my head. So if you just back that up a little bit, get your control and your balance back, hold on so tight, things will start to make sense again. Yes, absolutely, Cheyenne. Yeah. Yeah. So the whole point and why we did that is because, well, A, it's helpful to you guys, and B, it's not about anybody else, it's about you guys, right? That's why I asked you to pull it on you, so you can see what it says in front of you. Does that make sense? And the reason why we're asking everyone else for their interpretation is because I'm trying to show you that you can have many different interpretations, but they all sort of come to the same thing. Does that make sense? In a roundabout way, we're all saying the same thing, just different words. Now, I'm going to show you my cards. I have to say I'm a little concerned. So I'm not gonna interpret my own cards because I get crazy. Oh, my pop is leaking. You know when you have ice cubes in your drink and you have a straw and then you create that air thing and then the pop kind of falls out? It's really annoying because I usually do that and I end up wearing it. It's like first day with my new straw. Okay. So when I show you my cards, I want you all to tell me what I got. Sorry, you guys. I usually don't smoke this much on my channel. I really try not to. But this weather has me feeling a bit caged in, and I'm stressed because I can't have my windows open and my fresh air. So I do apologize. All right. So I started with the Ace of Water. So the Ace of Cups. What a beautiful picture that is, right? Following that, I have the Hierophant. Bumblebee Snuggles. I love your name. Welcome, my friend. You got the Lovers, the Ace of Swords, and the Star. Beautiful cards. Beautiful cards. Thank you, Cheyenne. A lot of people, feel some sort of way about it. So I appreciate you saying that. Really, I truly do. Bumblebee, did you go through maybe some sort of like I either feel like it's about a relationship or it's about work where sorry, I'm seeing a shadow of a big tail walking past and I'm like, what is that? It's the cat. Sorry, it totally freaked me out. And I seen it over here because the cat's, you know what I mean? Anyway. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't give them all to you yet. I don't know if it's about work or if it's about people, but I feel like you wrestled with making a decision or a choice, or maybe like a partnership. Lots of opportunities, lots of ideas, lots of, things going around, like good things, new things, right? That's kind of why I looked, because I was like, what? No, he's inside. He's not outside. That's where I was like, what? Anyway, sorry, I'm getting all over the place. So I sort of feel like it's a choice or a decision that you've had to make, either based on work or a relationship, and in the past, and things are starting to come together in a way that makes sense to you now, right? Like you're finally getting your inspiration back and you're finally seeing sort of the light ahead. And, the Star card is about belief and having faith, it's about, it's not really leveling up, but it's like it's like all of a sudden the clouds start to like part and you're like, oh, okay, things start to make sense a little bit more. It was a relationship. Okay. All right, so Ace of Water, Hierophant, Nine of Fire, and on the bottom of the deck I got the Devil card. Now you guys tell me what you think that's all about. And that brings me to the next point. Do you all read the card on the bottom of the deck? Something that I love to do is I'll read the cards that I have, I'll look at the bottom of the deck, and then I go down, literally, like 6, 7 cards. where I continued to tell the story, and it totally makes sense. So I always read the bottom of the deck. I don't know about you all. Everybody's different. Yeah, it's the shadow from the window. So he's walking between the curtains. That's what it was. Crazy cat. You're welcome, Bumblebee. Yeah, it is totally like I always read the bottom of the deck. I don't know why it speaks to me so much, but it really, like, I can make more sense sometimes out of what's underneath the card on the bottom of the deck than I can what's on top. Yeah, I do that same thing, Jen. Tell it. Okay, so the Ace of Cups. All about love, all about kindness, coming from that kind and loving place, right? The Hierophant, as we said earlier, is about learning, right? Trying to gain knowledge, trying to teach, trying to, trying to gain knowledge. We'll put it out there. Okay. The Nine of Fire. We're feeling a little bit battle weary, right? We're a little bit tired. This is about putting your boundaries up. This is about protecting yourself. Don't ever forget that the Nine of Fire has resilience. You are resilient. You have the energy to keep going, but you might need to sit down and have a smoke. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Well, Cheyenne just got it. So the Devil card. So many people get freaked out by this card. Now, this isn't a great example of a Devil card because it looks yummy, right? In the traditional Rider-Waite, the Devil has the male and the female standing at the sort of at the bottom of the spot or the pedestal or the throne or whatever you want to call it that he's sitting on, right? Or that it's sitting on. And when you think about what does the devil mean, it means, addictions and toxic patterns and toxic behaviors and toxic thoughts, like things, like that don't serve you at all. But it's like a pattern that you can't break, right? You, no matter what you do, it's like a magnet, just keeps pulling you back. So this is the current energy. That's how I read the card that's on the bottom of the deck, right? I need to not hold myself back. I need to not go back into my negative thought pattern. It is, and I literally just said that I am struggling today, right? I'm struggling today because I'm feeling like my anxiety is high because I cannot get outside. I can't open my windows. I can't breathe my fresh air. And it's been like this for 3 days and we still have another 2 to go. And I'm starting to come a little bit unraveled. So if I take some time to love myself up and put my boundaries up to protect myself, I will have the strength and the resilience that I require to break free of that. Now, what's below it? Let's tell the story, right? What's below it? The Six of Air. What does the Six of Air mean, or the Six of Swords? This is coming away from the storm. You're moving towards a safer shore, a safer harbor, right? So you're moving, and you're moving towards calm and gentle and positive and hope, right? What's below that, friends? Boom, there she is, the sun. So the moral to that reading is, if I can pick out the good, and if I can focus on the good, if I can put up my boundaries and tell myself that I am okay, I got this, I'm fine, the sun will come out. The sun will come out. Yes, Cheyenne, you are going to be okay. That's the whole point. That's the beauty of tarot, right? I didn't even read what you wrote, Cheyenne. So Cheyenne says, you are being blessed. How the Hierophant, you're a channel for the divine, and you're helping others with your knowledge. The Nine of Fire is telling me that you can strengthen your boundaries. You don't have to be everything for everybody. What about yourself, friend? Yeah, no. That's something that I am still very much learning. And then Cheyenne says, Six of Swords, you are being guided. Deborah says, Kelly, thank you for sharing with us, giving us a place to share and grow, shining light. I think that Cheyenne should be doing this class, not me. Because I think you're awesome, Cheyenne. Like, you need to send me an email and come read with me. For sure. And I'm being legitimate. Now, what I want you guys to do, what I want you to take away from this is this. Own it. Own it. No matter what you're doing, no matter how you're doing it, I don't care if it's making dinner. I don't care if it's mowing the lawn. Own it. Own it. You know what I mean? Stand in your power and own it. If this is what you want to do, then do it. Learn it. Whatever way works for you. Now, if you're going to start giving professional readings or private readings to individuals, then you have to have a set of ethics, and you have to have a set of rules that you go by, in my personal opinion. And you need to understand that there is a responsibility to reading these cards to people, no matter what platform, whether it's personal or it's here. Facebook, wherever, right? Friends and family, whatever. There is a responsibility to be reading these cards to people, and you need to take that very seriously. Like, it's not a joke. Spirit is not a joke. We know that, right? So if you're reading for yourself while you're learning, totally okay. If you have a practice partner for terms of practicing, totally okay. If you're going to start reading for people, you need to have a set of rules for yourself, like a set of ethics that you work by, and you need to understand that this is a huge responsibility, because not everyone that comes to you for a reading hears what you tell them. A lot of people come for a reading and only hear what they want to hear, and then if they don't hear what they expect to hear, they may not hear anything else that you say. They may come back at you in some form, in a derogatory spirit. And so you have to be responsible with these things, right? I think that is the one thing, probably more than anything else, that upsets me about tarot, is that people think it's like a joke, right? Not us, others, you know what I mean? And people don't take it seriously. And I happen to take it seriously. I think that you need to have a set of rules and a set of ethics that you operate by, that make you feel safe, as well as protecting the people that you're reading for. And you need to handle yourself in a responsible way, because the people that are asking you questions, they're asking you about important things to them, and they're taking everything that you say, and they're either recording it or they're writing it down. And and I mean, in some cases it could be, like whether a marriage survives, or, whether they pick up the phone and they quit their job, or they sell their house, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So we have to be responsible when we're dealing with this stuff. That's really, really important, in my personal opinion. Now, we talked about a lot of stuff. I don't know that, I mean, you can't cover everything that there is to know in an hour and a half. Now, was there anything is there like a burning question? Does someone need to know something? Someone want to know something that I didn't ask or I didn't say or whatever? Oh, Cheyenne, you're so sweet. Listen, I'm happy to help anybody that I can. You know, just like what I said about reading, I take my channel really seriously, and you know, I want to help as many people as I can. If I can assist in some way, then like send me an email, right? My email's in the description box below the video. I can type it in the chat, send me an email, and I'll see what I can do. I mean, I can't promise, right? But I can see what I can do. Okay, so what? Hi, JR. How are you, love? Yes, Fleck. Well, okay, so what are my thoughts on reversals? So when you ask that question, do you mean like, do I read reversals? So some people will read reversals, some people won't read reversals, some people, you know, feel some sort of way about reversals. If my cards come out in the reverse, then I read them in the reverse. But I have to say, you know, double touch wood, I don't have a lot of cards coming out in the reverse. So when they do, I figured that they're there for a reason. Do you know what I mean? Now, sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I will do something like this. Like I split my deck so I can shuffle it because I do that kind of shuffle, right? Because my hands are so tiny. I got the hands of an 8-year-old. That's a whole other show, though. And sometimes when I split the deck, I'll do this where one side is right side up and one side is wrong. So sometimes when I get a reversal, I'll pick up the deck and go, did I screw that up? Do you know what I mean? Because I don't get a lot of reversals, but if everything is copacetic, I read it as it comes out. Because that's one of my rules. One of my rules is that I have to tell you what I get. I have to be truthful, but I'm always going to try to make it as positive as possible. I'm never going to leave you with a feeling of like, oh my God, like that I would shut my channel down. Like that would hurt me if I thought that that's the way that you walked away from a reading that I gave you. Do you know what I mean? Oh, you're very kind, Akila. Thank you so much, friend. And thank you, Deborah. That's very kind of you. I appreciate you. Appreciate all of you. All right. So, yeah. So read reversals. Don't read reversals. That is the thing. But to the point of reversals, don't go getting yourself all like tied up in knots because you got a reversal card and you don't know what it means. And should I read them or shouldn't I read them? Like, don't even put that thought in your mind. Just keep pulling your cards. You know what I mean? Just keep pulling your cards and see how it goes. And if you get a reversal card, you decide in that moment whether you're gonna go for it or not. Does it make sense based on the question? Right? Does that make sense what I said? All right, so let us pull one of my little favorite decks here. This is an Oracle deck. This is called the Prairie Majesty deck. Yeah. So it's taking you longer to learn the cards because of all the reversals. So in the beginning, only read upright, right? Like you need to learn the card, what it means upright before you can worry about what it means in reverse. So if it comes out in reverse, you switch it around, look at it in the upright position, do that, and then what would it mean to the reading if that was in reverse, right? So I'm not asking any questions. I'm just asking for a couple of cards because this is what I like to do. Sort of like, how was today? What is the overall takeaway from today? Wow, you guys. It's sort of similar to the question that we all asked ourselves earlier, which is just really interesting. So this deck, as I said, it's one of my favorites. I love this deck. I don't think a lot of people get it, but I love it. Now, it's a 13-lined ground squirrel is the animal. It has all kinds of animals or flowers on it, okay? And the question or on the card, or the message on the card says, what eternal knowing can I access in human form? So what that means to me is like, you know, what is my thing? What's my thing? What is my thing? What's the thing that I have to offer? What's, you know, where's my sweet spot? Do you know, do you love it? I love this deck. What eternal knowing can I access in human form? And like when I seen this, so the key word is remember. What have we been talking about? Remembering the cards, remembering the journey, remembering the suits, remember the pentacles, remembering whether they're, you know, do you read reversals, the bottom of it, remember. So the eternal knowing, it being remember, in terms of what we're talking about today, this is about not being too hard on yourself while you're trying to learn. Allow the process to happen naturally. Everyone learns at a different pace, right? Give yourself that grace, give yourself that understanding. You know, don't get down on yourself if you don't get it in a week. I mean, it took me months, right? Remember all the great stuff that you've done prior. You know, you'll get it. You'll get it. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't set an imaginary timeline for yourself, right? Like, remember who you are is kind of what I vibe from that card. And what I love about this deck is that it's totally open to interpretation. You can make this thing work for just about anything. Yes, finding our place, what we are being led to, 100%. Okay, so now we have what energizes me and the coyote and play. So to me, this is what we're doing, right? We're not playing, but we're having fun. We're learning things, but in a kind of like interactive, kind of like no pressure kind of way, right? I also want to say that reminds me of what I said before. You know, get a practice partner. Find someone else out there that wants to throw tarot cards, you know, and practice with them. I did that for months. I still do it every once in a while, right? I have a practice partner, and we will come and we will hang out and we will have a bunch of questions and we will just throw cards and compare notes. And it helps you to practice saying the reading out loud. It helps you to figure out what your reading style is like. It helps to figure out, you know, how you're comfortable shuffling, how many cards are going to come out, whether you know what I mean? Like all of those kinds of things, because you have support and you're getting feedback. It's lovely. But it's, you know, keep it light. Keep it light. Another one of my little favorite decks here. This is called the Rustic Oracle, and I got this one off of Etsy. What I thought was so cute is in the description of this deck, you know, like as to its category, it said it was for men. And I was like, what? Because it's rustic, it's for men. I mean, really? Anyway. All right. We have the keys and important choices. So remember what we were talking about is that You have to have a set of rules, a set of ethics, because this is a responsible thing that you're doing if you're going to be reading for other people. So the choices that you make in terms of how you learn and how dedicated you are to that learning are important, right? Like if you're not going to take it seriously and you're just going to mess around with it, that's totally okay. You do you, but don't be offering readings to your friends and family unless they understand it's just like, do you know what I mean? The second card that we got is the knotted rope, lasting commitment. To me, once you learn this, you never stop learning, number one. But the lasting commitment part comes to, like, once you start doing this, it becomes part of you. Do you know? You really start to not depend on them, but you're like, oh, like this thing just happened. I can't wait to get home and throw some cards on it. Do you know what I mean? Or you start bringing them everywhere you go. So you have to be committed to learning, committed to doing it, and also be open to that whole, like, all that means for you. Does that make sense what I mean? Or what I'm saying? Not what I mean, what I'm saying. Honestly. Now, if you guys have, sorry, my internet's glitching in and out. That, that's unfortunate, Lottie, and I'm sorry to hear that. And it says they're not. Don't anyone go anywhere. I'm still here. My internet's going all crazy. It's probably because of the power, with the heat that we're experiencing and all the air and electricity that's happening. What was I going to say? Yes, that seems to be more people's experience than not. I don't have that issue. I have a very supportive circle, which is lovely. But then that then requires you to decide whether you're going to stand in your truth and just own it. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're comfortable to do it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you have to decide whether you're going to or not. Just because other people don't understand it doesn't mean that it's wrong or that you shouldn't be doing it. You make that choice, not yours. Okay, so this is really annoying. I'm going to pull one more card, and then I'm going to go so that we're not watching. Card that I got. So annoying. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. Beautiful. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. So, in other words, stand tall, stand proud, stand in your truth, stand in your power, and shoot for the stars, right? Shine your light as brightly as you can. Don't let anyone or anything diminish your light. Awesome card. All right. So, my friends, I'm going to go before I glitch out again. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you found this helpful in some way. Um, Every time I go to speak, it glitches out. And we will see each other again. I will be back on Friday at 11 a.m. I'm not going to do tomorrow's coffee break tarot, but I will be back on Friday, and we'll be doing some energy readings for July 7th, right? Because it's the 7th month, the 7th day, and the 7th year. So we'll be doing some readings on the 777 energy. So we'll see you guys on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to hit the, and thanks for the internet. All right, friends. Have a great afternoon. I love you lots. Mwah. Many blessings. Bye, everybody. Cheyenne, don't forget to email me, okay? Bye, everyone.